Beautiful.
His ball's probably somewhere.
All right.
Yeah, probably
So we are live. Love that. Okay. So technical difficulties hopefully are over. And in the interim, we got Owen on call. So Owen, you have 8 minutes to ask or say whatever you want. Your time will be starting now.
Okay. First of all, I get to celebrate now that we're recording. Yay! I'm so happy two of you. I'm so grateful that I get to vote for one of you since we worked together through all of jury. And I'm really proud of both of you. So good job. I haven't been listening to the stream, so if I ask something that's already been asked, just repeat what you said or whatever. Sorry about that. But yeah, I'm proud of you both either way. Good job. My first question, though, is for both of you. So what I want to know first is if I hadn't been taken out by Beck in 6th place and I had gone on to the final 5 and perhaps the final 4, what were your plans regarding me, and like how would that have changed your game if I were there in the 5 instead of the 4? Were you planning on being loyal to the 3 of us through till that final 3 and seeing who got dragged, or what were you planning on doing? And I want your complete honesty, like not just what you think. I want to hear, like, I really want to know what both of you are planning, because I'm really fine with whatever, but I want to know the truth. So that's my first thing. Whichever one of you wants to go first.
I'll go first since you went first for the last person. You'll read it in my confessionals. You'll hear it in another question. I would have, I would have happily lost you sitting in final 2, Owen. My goal from the second we were paired up and I realized how much I could trust you, like, no offense, Ryan, but, like, I would have kicked him at 3 if we had a power to do that. Like, I had full trust in you. I felt like there was no reason for you to turn on me and for me to turn on you and vice versa. Like, we had just worked so good together post jury that it was like finally something is going in my favor in this game. I think I'm gonna stick to Owen and hopefully that's gonna go. And when you were eliminated, I literally like had a dark cloud. I was like, oh my god, like what do I do now? I had like a huge moment, and then that's when I was like, okay, I gotta. Me and Ryan are the last 2 of that 3. We gotta keep going. But yeah, you were my top 2 in that.
Right. Ryan.
Yeah, no, I wasn't bringing you to the end. No, so I wanted you to come back at 6 because I think for me, you and Patrick were like the ones who I felt like were for sure keep me safe. So I wanted you to come back. But in the event that you had come back and Beck was gone, I would have preferred you and Blake to go at that point, simply because I think you guys were the 2 bigger threats. I think you were the more flashy players. I think that you had more control over things we did. Like, I think in our threesome, I think you were probably more of the linchpin between the 3 of us. Like, I think, like, we all agreed on what we were doing and we kept each other safe, but it did feel like most of the time you and me were having a conversation about something you and Patrick had already talked about, and then we kind of just agreed to whatever it was. Yeah. And so I know that about you. I often lose to you in games. I often vote for you to win them when you make it to the end. And so as much as I love you and as long as we've been friends for a long time, you're not somebody who I would want to be sitting here with. Because I know, but you were an ally, and it wouldn't have been personal, obviously. But I did want you to come back at 6. I just wanted to like get rid of you a little later than you left.
Would you have preferred me or Blake to be gone in 5th place?
You or Blake? That's a good question. Maybe you. I think 5th, I would have preferred you. I think I would have. I think having Blake at the final 4 did give me more options. I think if the final 4 was you, me, and Patrick, I think there's not much we do to convince Raul. Like, it's just at that point, it's just like, oh, whatever Raul wants to do.
Okay.
Yeah. I think you at 5. Yeah.
Thank you. And then, so my other question kind of goes along with what you said. As much as I loved working with both of you, and I love you both, I feel like a lot of what the 3 of us voted were things that I had proposed, like voting back over Blake at final 6, voting Raul and Isaac, and then voting Raul on the revote at final 7, the first 2 Isaac votes. Like, those things felt like things that almost Blake and I decided on, and then I came back and talked to the two of you about. So what I want to know is just thinking strategically and the decisions that you made in terms of votes. What were some things that you were keeping in mind separate from me and what we were doing? And where were areas that you felt you really made your own decision? Even if it's just one big decision that you made after we started working together from jury on.
I totally get that. I feel like between the two of us, you were definitely somebody going out and getting a lot more information and bringing it back to me. Like that, I wouldn't even try to take that away from you. I think that I did talk to Blake a lot, so maybe like it was like you and Blake talked, and then like you talked to me, and then Blake talked to me. So maybe that's just like another branch I have. But I would also say a lot of the things that you had decided, I agreed were the best things for my game, because I felt like me and you moving forward together would be good. So why would I try to change something up when the game is essentially going the way that I want it to go? Especially with me being on the bottom and in so many battle matches, I didn't want to cause any big rifts in doing anything out there. And I knew that if people were going to target us, they would probably come for you first because you're like Owen. Like, you know what I mean? So I felt like why would I draw more attention to myself when I've had enough attention for me?
Okay.
Yeah, so I agree. And so in my opening speech, the way I described my strategy for this game, the way like a sequesterish kind of game works, is that it's not a hierarchy, it's a seesaw. And so if you're either end of the seesaw, you're likely to get punted off. So if you're in the group that's making decisions and you're a majority, you are the person who got voted out and is going to send into a battle match is going to choose, right? So if you are on either end of that spectrum, you are in trouble. So my goal was to be someone more in the middle. So I was working with you and Patrick because, yes, the moves we made together were moves that benefited me. And so those were the ones I went with. But I also was having conversations with Blake. I was also having conversations with Jared. I think Autumn leaving when she did also impacted it, because Autumn was someone who directly when I came back into the game was who I was talking to a lot and like, oh, we should work together now. And so I think that impacted it, and Jared being as big of a threat as he was and going when he did moved me in the direction of working with you. But I think it happened to be that our what worked out for us aligned, and so that's why I stuck with it. But I kept myself somewhere more in the middle where I still kind of knew what was going on elsewhere, and just sort of like went where it was. But I stayed in the middle on purpose. You were a huge threat. You were a big name. Patrick was scary as fuck. No one wanted to go against him, even though people picked him on purpose.
Even though everybody wanted to.
Dumb. But yeah, so I think I didn't necessarily make moves, but I kept my options open by having ears sort of everywhere.
Yes. Okay. Both of those were good answers. All your answers have been great. And I really, really wish I could vote for both of you. If I would, I couldn't, or if I could, I wouldn't in a heartbeat. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the one of you that I cannot vote for. But great job. Good luck with the rest of the jurors. And I'm happy for both of you. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
All right.
So cute. I love him.
Next up, we would have Isaac, and he was planning on being here, but his work is going over, so instead of Isaac being here in person, he has sent a question in, and lovely Miss Pippa is going to be reading it.
Ooh.
Okay, are you guys ready?
Oh, yes.
Yep.
It's a long one.
Oh, good.
No, not really.
Love it. Oh.
Isaac says, I want both of them to name one personal thing they know about each member of the jury, and game stuff doesn't count. So,
I went first last time. God.
You guys can, we can do it one of two ways. You can go one at a time, or I can read off the jurors and you guys can go back and forth. I will grant you that.
What do you want to do, Patrick?
I mean, we can do one by one. I feel like,
yeah.
like
Yeah, let's
Same.
do one by
Yeah.
one.
Okay, let's start at the bottom, and we'll start with Autumn.
All right, I'll go first.
Okay.
Things I know about Autumn are that she won Tumblr Survivor twice. She had a very recent win. I also know she just graduated. And I know that Autumn is a queen. That's it.
So I know that she won 2 Tumblr Survivor. No, I'm just kidding. Honestly, I didn't really talk to Autumn. I know that she's a really nice person and came across super sweet throughout the entire game that I got to talk to her. And that she was playing a bigger game than she was leading on, and we can't talk about games. Then just kidding. No, she's a nice person.
I think we can both agree that she was just robbed, though. I think we can just both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was very surprised.
Yeah.
Okay, next is Jules.
I'll go. We can go back and forth. Go first.
Okay.
Jules has beautiful brown hair and very nice glasses.
Jules also has a great fan in her room that gives her great Beyonce hair and videos.
Oh, yeah.
Right, that was beautiful. And I know that she like played a Sequester mini and she was totally robbed in it.
Okay, next, Nathan.
Oh, I have to go first. I probably the person I talked to almost not at all. He did a lot of campaigning that got me eliminated. I don't know. I didn't talk to him. I think he's great. He's cool. He had great camera quality. He's got a great camera. There you go.
Me and Nathan both love Ariana Grande, and that is a factor that binds people like no other. So I will never forget that he is a huge Ariana stan. So
that's good.
Jared.
Jared works for he's like not a conductor on a train, but he works like on a train as like a person who like collects tickets and stuff.
I know Jared is friends with one of my friends, and that's why I wanted to work with Jared in the beginning of this game, because my friend said, hey, Jared's really cool, work with him. I don't know anything in addition to that. I just thought he was a fun troll.
Okay, next up we have Sir Isaac, who asked this question.
Ugh. Was it my turn? Do I have to go first?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I've known Isaac for a really long time, so I never ask what's new with him. Just not great. But what are some things I know about? I know that he likes to eliminate women. I know that he is a Mennonite. I know that he knows that I'm a Leo. And I know that he thinks I'm a lot older than I am. And that's it for Isaac.
For Isaac, I know he is a self-defined rat. And I disagree with that. I think he's a great person. I've known Isaac for a while. I feel like we never really get to play together with each other, so there's never really conversation when you're opposite sides. So I'm kind of the same. It's just like, hi.
It's not just self-defined. I also define him as a rat. So.
Okay, next up we have one that might be a little easier. Owen.
Owen is currently apartment shopping in Chicago, and he has a recent boyfriend.
God, Owen is like my son. But what do I know about Owen that I can just like remember right now? Nothing. I've hosted games with Owen. He's a very creative individual. He's a great dancer. He does great in music videos where he sings the songs and still loses. So that's it. That's Owen.
Okay, next up we have Beck.
Beck has a fantastic voice.
Beck does have a great voice. He also loves Wendy's, and I love Wendy's.
I mean, who doesn't love Wendy's?
I mean, that's true, but It's been said.
I literally have a Wendy's cup sitting on my dining room table.
That is so funny.
And that was our Wendy's ad. So next up,
Next sponsor.
get that 2 for $5 at Wendy's. Next up we have Blake.
Blake likes to smoke pot and yell at Jared. Game wise or not. I'm sure outside the game it wouldn't be a problem either.
Blake loves a good debate, but he loves a good structured debate. You got to specify that. And I know he went to go celebrate his birthday, but then something happened and he couldn't do it. But he's a great guy.
Okay. And the last one we have is Raul.
Oh, it's me. Oh, God, like upset I didn't get to talk to him as much because every time we were on a video together for whatever reason, he's fucking fantastic. But Noro has great hair. It's got the best hair. And that's it. That's all I got.
Raul is a good person to have a conversation with if you want to talk about the most recent episode of RuPaul's Drag Race. He agrees with my opinions and is very opinionated, which is nice. And also something we could have said about 90% of this cast is they're fans of Pokemon. So that could have been an easy knockoff for everybody. I can't believe I forgot.
Okay, guys. Thanks for answering that for Isaac. If I know Isaac, which I do, he would say something along the lines of, well, those were some answers. Thanks, guys. Then he would leave.
He would make
Bye,
an
Isaac.
inappropriate joke and then leave.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so we are to our final juror. So whenever he comes, oh, that was a hard pass on the call. That was a quick no. All right, we'll give him a minute. There we go.
Oh my god, is it my turn?
It is.
Yes, thank you for coming, Raul. You have 8 minutes to do, say, ask whatever you want. Your 8 minutes will be starting now.
Okay, so everyone has been very nice. So my first question is gonna be, should we spice it up or just keep it nice? I'll let
I'm
you
fine
guys
with
decide.
spice.
Yeah,
I
let's
like
go.
spice. Yeah, I mean, get
Yeah.
real with it. Do it.
Spice it up.
Why not?
Okay, so first of all, congratulations to the 2 worst players since jury to make into final 2. Everyone can make final 2 apparently, so congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I prepared some fun facts about both of your games.
Ooh.
Patrick said he was voted out once, but he was voted out twice. There was only
Okay.
3 rounds where someone was voted out and didn't have a chance to battle back, one of them being Ryan. He missed the 2 biggest rounds of the game, which were couples rounds and floaters rounds that everyone's game got exposed. So I think even though it seems like not unfair, sorry, that someone comes back with a target, I would like to disagree because he missed all the drama. Everyone had stabs, 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 and he was just like voguing, vogue, 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 vogue. He was just doing nothing all the game and just sitting there and, just being him. Good morning, fuckers, and just period. That being said, I did not prepare any questions. So I watched everyone's questions, and Ryan said he would drag Blake, and just out of curiosity, who would Patrick would have dragged?
In all honesty, it would have depended on how it would have went with the voting of how it going down. But even though me and Raul, we had our
just
stuff going
switching.
on,
It would have been
Oh.
just like me switching my vote to you, for example.
I probably would have dragged Blake because I felt most lied to. I would have used the same reasoning he did. I would have felt like the loyalty he had shown to me was not the loyalty he had vocalized to me was not shown up by actions in Final 5 or being voted out in Final 4.
So y'all don't respect good gameplay. That's what I'm understanding here. Y'all
I
just
respected
like
your long gameplay. I would have not dragged you for personal reasons.
okay. Um, what was another question I had? Oh yeah, I remember. Last question, but not least. Because they saved the best for last. Period. My question is, so I know you guys haven't made moves by yourself, but what was something that you guys think started to make a move towards, like planting seeds or just saying something? Because we know Owen managed you guys both, just like puppets. So it was just like, what did you tell Owen for Owen to spread on your behalf? Because I've done that, so I know how that works. Have you guys done that, and what have you done?
Do you want to go? I'll
Period.
go first. I would say the things that I did or tried to start. One of them was trying to spread the idea that it was just easier to continue voting Isaac, just because that was really once we made it to this phase of the game, Isaac was really the only
No,
kind of adversary I had. Everyone else who had worked against me in pre-jury was working with me post-jury. So I tried keeping myself just saying Isaac's name so that I was consistent. I wasn't making any new enemies, and I was showing my allies that I was easy to be trusted. And it also kept me from having to vote out people who I was working with, like Jared and Blake and Owen, who were kind of seen as against each other at certain points from going so that those rivalries could continue.
For me, um, I didn't even really get a chance to link up with Owen until halfway through the game. I had like kind of worked with Jared, but like, and
Neither
then
did Ryan. He wasn't even there.
I mean, right, like
One
essentially,
round. One round, I was gone.
but that those rounds were serious. I so like when the whole house had flipped on me and Owen, like we only had each other, and then I had slowly built up like a relationship with Blake, and I knew that there were people like me and you, Rao. We were never going to be on terms of working together
Never.
as like the game progressed. Never. So why would I waste my time? Besides having a chat about like RuPaul's Drag Race or something, you know what I mean? I came to you that one time. I said I just wanted to see where your head's at. I wasn't expecting you to flip. I just wanted to see like how things were going and if just like the lay of the land. And when I got that, I was like, okay, like that's how it's going to go. I just need to work with the people that I have strategically, which was Owen and Ryan, and then get in with Blake as much as I could. And I think that having Blake working with him on like the outside of those three was a good extra connection for me to have.
But what was something that you told Blake or Owen that made them that
Oh,
were the yeah,
when
my
we had
question.
vote, right, when the vote when Isaac went out first, me and Owen were in the middle of deciding to vote for Isaac or Jules, and I had pushed for Owen to vote for Isaac, and that was against Owen what Owen wanted because if Jules had gone out, it was his bounty and he would have gotten an LOS. But I convinced him that we should vote for Isaac out and give Blake an LOS. That wasn't even like I was like that's a side thing we can deal with that later. But I think the effect it's going to have moving on in the game of Blake having some trust in me, knowing I voted with him on something that gave him an LOS, was something that helped me with Blake's relationship outside of Owen further in the game. Is that a good answer?
Mm, sure.
I mean, voting to Isaac. It was me and Owen's vote that
Okay,
was the deciding factor.
I'll take it if that's all you have. No, but being in all honesty, like congrats to both of you. It has been real fun. I had a blast. It was really fun talking a little bit to both of you because we didn't talk
What are you
much.
talking about? Yeah, I
It
know.
was fun. It was just fun. So good luck. I'll vote whoever Owen doesn't vote, so Owen gets his 2 votes. Because I honestly do not care who wins this shit. No,
Okay.
it's just a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. Sorry. I appreciate Monty, and I will do it for Monty. That's
Oh,
about
so
I
it.
love it.
Also,
I'm
thank
just
you for the
I'm just
hair compliments, Ryan.
I mean, it's true. You just
Facts
have
are
great
It is.
facts.
facts are.
Do I just leave now, Pippa? Monty?
Yes.
Yeah, you can leave now.
Thank you for coming.
Bye.
All right. So, with
He's back.
hello, sits. Why is that coming through my
Kicked out the
phone as
Masters,
well?
and he had something to say.
I think
Yeah.
he's gone.
Look
Well,
over
he's out
there.
of the group, so he can't. All right. So, now that all the questions are done, we will have our final statements, our final plea. So we're going to go in reverse order this time. So Ryan first. So Ryan, you're going to have 5 minutes to give your final plea. When you start, your time will start.
All right. So my final plea. I think, again, I want to say this was a very fun game. This was a very fun final 2 questioning. It was, not gonna lie, more positive than I thought it was gonna be. I respect Patrick a lot. I think he's a great player. I think he's a great person. I think regardless, you're gonna have a great winner. So vote for me. I think in this game was so insane. It has so many twists, so many things happen. I think 2 of the biggest underdogs are here at the end, and I think it shows how much we fought and how much we did, albeit how differently we did those things. I think the big thing for my game is that even though I was eliminated, I changed it up when I came back. I made the alliances I needed to. I did the social things I needed to. I greeted everyone with a fucko in the morning and some Pokemon shit. If you vote for me, you'll get to play my Pokemon game when it's over. If you vote for Patrick, I'll give it to you a day later than everyone else, and you'll feel like you're missing out. But all in all, this was really fun. Vote for me. A vote for me is a vote for Jasmine Masters. That's it. That's all I have to say.
All right, Patrick, same thing with you. When you start talking, your 5 minutes will begin.
Okay, I also want to start with, this was such a great game. I had so much fun playing it. I can't say in the beginning I expected to be at the final 2 in any way, shape, or form. I went into first 3 battle matches. I fought my ass off this entire game. I had to change myself week after week and adjust with being on the bottom constantly and get myself to the end. I would appreciate a vote because I feel like my hard work for killing those battle matches so hard and choosing harder options for them to keep myself safer longer in the game. Like I did everything I could to keep myself in the game and get myself to the end. And I just feel like I had to up my game as I went throughout the game to socially to spread to talking to people, and then by the time the jury came around, I had a decent amount of people that I was talking to that I could work with, that from that point on I could actually like play the game because I had an LOS and I had 4 battle matches that were at that point 3 battle matches under my belt that were intimidating to people, and then being teamed up with Owen and having my back in the corner was probably the best thing that happened to me, because that was when I was like, you have to kick it into high gear and you have to take these people down because everybody's against you. So what option did I have besides playing the bottom with Owen and we're climbing our way up? And with Ryan, the 3 of us climbed our way back up, and and we did that. So I think either one of us getting a vote is respecting that game, but I think that if I were to get the vote, it would be somebody who had to play the game the whole time. Sorry, Ryan. It's a big point that I have to make. I was never eliminated. I save myself every time. But I mean, but for real, I played with all my heart. I was forced to play hard from day one, and first battle match, last battle match, battle match king. I would also, there's room for another crown up here, so if you vote for me, will happily accept. So it's a great game with people. Love these questions. Love the people. So that's the end. Love Ryan too.
All right, thank you so much, both of you, for an amazing season. Thank you for coming. Thank you to all the jurors who showed up and who submitted questions and videos beforehand. We really appreciate you guys. just throughout this whole season. It's been a really fun season from our perspective, really kicking off a series that we're all super excited to get going. I think this was a great way to set the tone for the series to come. So thank you guys all for just really giving it everything and just playing your hearts out all the way through. So yeah, with that being said, the voting is open for the jurors. We will have a live winner reveal and awards at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. So jurors, you have until then to vote. And yeah, for you two can chill out, hang on out, relax. This game is over as far as you guys are concerned. There's nothing else you can do, so you guys can relax as much as you can. You guys have earned it. Thank you again for playing. Thank you for sitting here for an hour and a half through all the technical issues and everything. Good luck to both of you, and I will see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye, fuckers.
Yeah, what a great ending.
And that is how the stream ends.